Commodore Mara Vance slashed her hand across the comms panel. Fleet-wide, kill all chatter. Emission control full blackout, no transmissions, no pings, confirm silent running. Her bridge crew snapped acknowledgements without voice, hand signals only as per drill. The holotank flickered, then dimmed to passive sensors. Human Task Force 7 Alpha vanished from the galaxy's active spectrum. No drive plumes, no radar ghosts, just cold hulls coasting through the convoy lane. Seconds earlier, the alien coalition's broadcast had blared. Surrender your vessels or face annihilation. Arrogant, laced with that buzzing subharmonic their translators rendered as prestige chants. Vance ignored it. Words were noise. Silence was the answer. Lieutenant Chen at Fire Control glanced up from her station. Her eyes met Vance's, query in the tilt of her head. "Hold fire discipline," Vance said low. "They'll fill the quiet themselves." Chen nodded, fingers dancing over targeting overlays. No emissions meant no locks, but her systems chewed passive data like a grinder. Captain Alvarez's destroyer icon pulsed on the flank display, *Rook class, nimble predator. His voice crackled once via tight-beam laser. "Formation tight, ma'am, ready to dance." "Stay in shadow," Vance replied. "Bait them." The holotank bloomed with contacts. 3 alien picket cruisers, Cathari design, needle-thin hulls optimized for swarm tactics. They lit active scans, LiDAR spears stabbing the void. "Inspection protocols," their doctrine called it. Probing for weakness, Threxel's voice leaked over open channels before they cut their own mics. Strategist speaker Threxel to human rabble, declare intent or be boarded. Contempt dripped from the translation. Humans didn't posture. No fleet reviews, no honor salvos. Just quiet transit through coalition space. Vance's lips thinned, they read silence as fear, perfect. "Decoy drop," she ordered. "Full spread now," Chen triggered it. Task Force spewed chaff pods, thousands of microdrones mimicking drive signatures, heat blooms, even faux comms bursts. The cloud billowed across the lane, a glittering false fleet. Alvarez yawed his destroyer first. The whole formation followed, precise roll, engines cold. Vectors shifted off-axis, baiting the hunters. Picket leads closed to 10 light seconds. Their scans locked the decoys, greed in their acceleration curves. "Incoming salvo," Chen murmured. "Gridfire pattern, salvos ripple fired, 20 missiles per cruiser." ETA 45 seconds. Vance watched the holotank. Coalition batteries unleashed hell, plasma lances, and seeker swarms designed to overwhelm noisy foes with volume. Dozens streaked toward the bait cloud. "Counterfire," Vance said. "Time on target, sync with Alvarez." Chen's hands blurred. No return volleys wasted energy. Instead, precise bursts, railguns slaved to passive tracks, lasers pulsed in concert. Human fire control wove solutions from sensor noise, predicting alien vectors under pressure. Missiles detonated in the decoy swarm. Secondary blasts lit the void, but the real task force slipped the net. One seeker clipped a drone near Alvarez's ship. Proximity fuse cooked its shields. "Shields holding at 80%, Alvarez tight-beamed. "Pushing flank." The pickets pressed, overconfident. Their second salvo launched hot. Vance's fleet answered. Rails spat kinetic needles, time-on-target barrage. Projectiles converged from all angles, silent until impact. First picket died without a scream. Its hull vented plasma at the core. Sensors caught the chain reaction, magazines cooking off in sequence. Wreckage spun into the lane. Chen's voice stayed level. "Confirmed kill, lead picket neutralized." No cheers on the bridge. Vance's eyes stayed on the tank. 2 pickets wheeled, scans frantic now. They broadcasted, "What sorcery is this?" Silence from humans. Admiral Soren Keth's flag cut in, prestige rumble shaking the translators. "Primitives dare strike first? Coalition doctrine will grind you." All units converge, more contacts bloomed. Reinforcements, 4 heavy cruisers, Cathari battle line with Vexari escorts. Coalition strength, swarm doctrine, layered fire to drown resolve. Vance keyed Alvarez. "Destroyers peel off, harass their van. Chen, prioritize command links." "Aye," Alvarez's icon darted. His squadron, 3 Rooks executed microburns, slingshotting around the debris field. Aggressive but calculated. Shields flared as point defense shredded incoming needles. The coalition closed. Heavy cruisers loosed gridfire, hundreds of missiles, plasma veils. Designed for foes who broadcasted panic. Vance dumped second-stage decoys. Her carrier berthed fighter wings, drone-heavy ECM specialists. They swarmed the missile lanes, spoofing locks. Chen synced the counter. Tot solution locked, firing. Human guns thrummed. Not broadsides, scalpel strikes. Lasers carved sensor masts. Rails punched engine nacelles. One Vexari escort yawed hard, trailing atmosphere. It fired wild. Soren Keth's battle line buckled at the edge. A heavy cruiser took a perfect kinetic through its bridge spine. Detonation rippled fore to aft. Threxel's chatter spiked, asterisk impossible precision. They predict our weaves, Vance allowed no response. Her fleet maneuvered in ghosts. Emission silent, maneuvers routine. Alvarez's destroyer danced through the van, point defense a blur. One picket grazed him, shields sparked, but he rolled under its belly, raking reactors. Second picket venting, Chen reported. Critical cascade. The holotank showed it, alien hull splitting like overripe fruit. Escape pods jettisoned, dozens. Survivors broadcasted surrender pleas. Vance watched, unmoved, no taunts, no gloating bursts, just the next vector plot. Coalition heavies reformed, but hesitation crept in. Soren Keth demanded, show yourselves, fight with honor. Silence. Alvarez tight-beamed. They're bunching, ma'am, doctrine flaw over alliance on scan dominance. Exploit it, Vance said. Chen slave missiles to their command net, overload. Chen nodded. Human seekers, asterisk Viper marks launched cold, passive homing, ghosting through the chaff. They synced mid-void, time on target again. Coalition point defense blazed, but humans optimized for noise. Vipers struck in unison, 3 heavies holed amidships. One admiral's flagship listed, drives dark. Soren Keth's voice cracked. Cease this shadow war, face us. Vance's bridge hummed with alerts. Task force shields dipped to 60%. Sustained fire taxed them, but no losses, precision held. Fighters recall, she ordered. Reform on me, prepare turnover. Alvarez's squadron regrouped, scarred but whole. His voice carried fatigue-edged calm. Fleet alive, ma'am, your call. The coalition fleet milled, dozens of ships, yet fractured. Threxel broadcasted doctrinal panic. They do not posture, no resolve indicators. Vance plotted the turnover. Bernhard exposed sterns briefly, then flank. Bait their pursuit. Sensors pinged. Coalition battle line surged, prestige-demanding chase. Execute, Vance said. Engines ignited, brief, controlled. Task force arced away, decoys masking the move. Coalition followed, batteries hot. But humans yawed mid-burn, formation inverting. Fresh broadsides raked the pursuers off axis. Chen's rails sang. Another heavy cruiser bloomed into fire. Soren Keth's flag staggered, secondaries venting. Threxel's plea leaked. Admiral, their silence breaks us. We must regroup. Vance watched the first true fracture. Coalition ships peeled off, survivors fleeing to rally points. Doctrine shattered, no grand clash, just synchronized cuts. No transmission from Vance, she keyed Chen. Status. Targets degrading, ma'am, their scans blind in our shadow. Alvarez chimed. 1 asterisk rook yellow shielded, but we're ghosts again. Vance nodded to the holotank. Task force intact, convoy lane cleared. Aliens learned, human quiet hid fangs. Soren Keth's final broadcast rasped, this is not war, this is execution. Silence answered. But sensors caught new blooms, reinforcements warping in. Coalition reserves, prestige banners high. Vance's eyes narrowed. The campaign escalated. Alvarez, knife your destroyers through the debris field. Break their locks now. Commodore Mara Vance's voice cut across the bridge like a laser sight. Her holotank flickered with coalition reinforcements. 50-plus hulls warping in tight, prestige banners pulsing on their prows. The ambush had pinned her task force against the convoy's wreckage, but humans didn't break. They adapted. Captain Rook Alvarez's reply snapped back. Destroyers away, ma'am, we'll ghost their scopes. Vance watched the plot. 3 human destroyers, sleek asterisk Rook asterisk class knives, peeled off her flagship's flank. They dove into the spinning hulks of gutted freighters, engines cold. Coalition sensors stuttered. Locks fragmented as debris swallowed the signatures. Threxel's doctrinal chatter leaked over open channels. Humans evade, no prestige in shadows, flush them. Admiral Soren Keth's battle line surged forward, heavy cruisers leading. They burned hot, radars painting the field. But Vance's task force held formation in the kill zone's heart. Silent, precise. Chen, Vance said, your solution? Commander Ilya Chen hunched over fire control, fingers dancing across passive arrays. Fusing pings now, ma'am, no active burns. Their noise blinds them. We see clean. Vance nodded. Chen's screens bloomed with ghost tracks, Coalition destroyers milling in the outer debris, escorts too eager. She turned data into death. Passive infrared, gravitic whispers, neutrino scatters, fused into a lattice. Missiles queued in tubes, guidance slave to the net. No radar bloomed to betray them. Fire on your mark, Vance ordered. Chen's voice stayed level. Mark! 48 missiles spat from the task force's broadsides. Stealth-coated, they rode cold plasma trails through the wreckage. Coalition point defense spun up late, scans cluttered by debris and their own formation density. Impacts rippled. 6 alien destroyers vented atmosphere, secondaries chaining into fireballs. Keth's flag snarled orders. Torpedoes away. Hidden boats flank and gut them. Sensors lit up. 20 torpedo boats decloaked from the warp shadows, prestige microfleets optimized for knife fights. They loosed salvos, fat, fusion-tipped fish boring in on the human line. Vance's thumb hovered over the execute key, pre-planned, rehearsed. Flak corridor full spread. Her task force's dorsal arrays erupted. Chaff clouds billowed, laced with proximity-fused rail shrapnel. The corridor stretched a kilometer wide, a grinding meat grinder of tungsten storm. Torpedo boats plowed in. Half shredded on contact, hulls parting like foil. Survivors twisted, but the lattice caught them. Explosions stippled the void. Threxil broadcasted fracture. Boats lost. Doctrine demands pullback. Keth overrode. Press. Humans falter. Alvarez's destroyers knifed deeper. They weaved hulks, breaking the last targeting locks on Vance's flagship. Coalition heavies swung batteries, wild shots carving debris, not flesh. Incoming salvo on the flag, Alvarez barked. Heavy spread, ma'am, we intercept. Vance gripped her console. Plot showed it, 24 torpedoes inbound, riding the boat's final vectors, straight for her spine, reactor vaults. Burn hard, Alvarez, use what's there. Roger. Ramming play. Alvarez's lead destroyer lit engines, brief, ferocious. It snagged a drifting freighter hulk, 500 meters of twisted alloy. Full burn shoved the mass into the salvo's path. Torpedoes slammed home. The hulk bloomed, absorbing the fury in a chain of secondaries. Shrapnel sprayed, but Vance's flag sailed through the edge unscathed. Bridge crew exhaled. Vance didn't. Good work, reform on me? Chen updated. Their battle line wavers, ma'am. Keth's flag exposed, stern quarter clear. Vance eyed the holotank. Soren Keth's prestige dreadnought lumbered at the Coalition's heart, batteries cycling slow after the chase. Humans had baited it forward. Now payback. Chen, cripple shot, rail primaries synchronized. Solution locked. Task force rails hummed, capacitors dumping gigajoules, no broadside fanfare. One precise lance per ship slaved to Chen's net. Beams lanced out invisible until impact. Keth's flag shuddered. Armor parted along the ventral spine. Drives flickered offline. Secondary explosions vented plasma. Keth's voice cracked over comms. Flag crippled. All ships blind retreat, warp on my mark. Coalition hulls fractured. Destroyers peeled first, then cruisers. No disciplined withdraw, just panic vectors scattering into the black. Threxil's final squawk, they rehearsed this. Silence was the trap. Vance watched them go. Her task force held station amid the debris untouched. Convoy lane open. Reinforcements broken in minutes. Fleet status, she asked. Alvarez chimed in. Destroyers green across. Took scratches, but spines intact. Chen added, sensors clear, ma'am, no pursuit signatures. Vance allowed a thin smile. Humans didn't crow. They planned the next cut. But the holotank pinged. Warp signatures, more blooms, deeper in system. Coalition reserves, heavier. Keth's retreat had called them. Plot turnover, Vance said. We press. The bridge hummed to life. Engines spooled. Task force arced toward the new threat, fangs bared in silence. Reinforcements warped in thicker, 80 hulls, battle cruisers anchoring the van. Keth's battered flag limped at their core, prestige medpods patching command. Threxil coordinated from a relay frigate, doctrinal overlays frantic. Humans advance. No halt, no parley. Vance ignored the chatter. Her plot tightened. Debris field behind now, open void favored numbers, but humans turned void into grid. Alvarez, screen left, draw their scouts. Screen set. Rook * class destroyers fanned, baiting the Coalition's lighter wings. Enemy scouts bit, fast corvettes swarming. Alvarez danced them through microburns, rails spitting precise kills. 2 corvettes tumbled, breached. Chen fed updates. Passive net expanding. Their formation lattices too rigid, we thread it. Vance saw it. Coalition doctrine locked them in prestige blocks, heavy central, screens rigid. Humans flowed like water. Keth committed again. Flankers enveloped, torpedoes on the cruisers, fresh boats decloaked, 30 strong, torpedoes hot. They curved in from the flanks, Vector's textbook. Vance keyed the second flak pattern. Dorsal and ventral corridors, overlap fire. Task force arrays bloomed anew. Shrapnel storms intersected, a crossfire killbox. Boats plowed in dozens, gutted mid-run. Survivors dumped payloads wild, impacts glancing off human shields. Alvarez's voice cut sharp. Flag incoming again, ma'am. Battlecruiser salvo need intercept. Plot confirmed. 4 battlecruisers loosing heavies straight for her dreadnought's bow. Burn and ram, Vance ordered. Take the Hulk cluster. Alvarez's destroyers ignited. They herded a debris knot, shredded escorts from the first clash. Full thrust rammed the mass into the salvo. Explosions chained spectacular, veiling the task force. Battlecruiser sensors whited out. Chen pounced. Window open, rail solution on their van, rails sang. Battlecruiser prows crumpled, drives hold, weapons silenced. 2 drifted dead. Keth rasped, impossible, they predict us, Threxel pleaded. Admiral, their quiet optimizes, doctrine fails, Vance tagged the plot. Keth's flag again, stern clear, reactors glowing hot. Cripple repeat, she said, Chen's net locked, rails fired as one. Keth's dreadnought buckled, secondaries erupting. It rolled helpless, warp coils dark. Coalition broke wide. Ships warped blind, scattered vectors, no rally. Reserves milled, prestige shattered. Fleet alive, Alvarez reported. Convoy secure. Vance scanned the plot, task force pristine. Aliens fled into the void, but deeper scans pinged. Grand Fleet signatures, Keth's core reserves, hundreds strong. War doctrine's hammer inbound, her eyes narrowed, escalation complete. Humans answered. Prepare turnover, Vance said. We meet them head-on. Engines burned. Silence turned to steel. Threxel's relay frigate broadcast one last fracture before warp. They fight as one. We fracture. Vance let it fade. Her task force accelerated into the storm, rehearsed precision against crumbling might. The coalition had struck first. Humans ended it. Warp blooms swelled ahead, Grand Fleet arriving. Vance's holotank locked primaries. One more cut. Warp blooms erupted across the holotank. Coalition Grand Fleet materialized, 400 hulls strong, dreadnoughts in the van, squadrons fanned wide. Keth's flag burned its center, reactors hot. Target lead corvette, Vance ordered. Rails to disable drives, boarding teams stand by. Chen's voice crackled from fire control. Solution locked, firing. Rails thrummed, slugs punched the corvette's engines. It yawed, trailing plasma, weapons dark. Surrounding escorts surged forward, lasers stabbing blind. Alvarez's destroyer danced left, pulling heat. Escorts biting. Vance watched the plot. Task force held formation, 6 ships against the tide. Humans didn't charge, they carved. Covey 1 capture op, she said. Quarantine rig on that corvette. Secure the recorder. Shuttles launched from the battlecruiser. Marines in void suits jetted toward the Hulk. Enemy pickets wheeled, but Alvarez's guns barked first. One escort vented atmosphere, another warped erratic. Threxel's relay cut in, voice shrill over open channel. Soren Keth, humans claim Rex, doctrine forbids. Keth overrode. Annihilate them, prestige demands crush. Vance muted the chatter, her holotank pulsed data. Grand Fleet closed, 30 light seconds and narrowing. Task force engines flared turnover. They met the hammer head-on. Marines clamped onto the corvette. Breach charges popped seals. Quarantine rig deployed, nanite webs sealing compartments, EMP pulses frying boards. Chen patched in. Rig live, Commodore, plugging into combat recorder now. Vance nodded. Extract doctrine tables, prioritize command chains. Seconds ticked. Grand Fleet salvos lit space, plasma lances and missile swarms. Alvarez's destroyer rolled through the storm, point defense chewing drones. Task Force ECM smeared signatures, sensors fogged. Got it, Chen said. Data streamed to Vance's tank. Tables unfolded, coalition auth protocols, flag approval for retasks. Squadron leads weighted relays, 10-second delays minimum cascading to minutes fleet-wide. Vance traced the chains. Keth's flag linked primaries, escorts deferred to squadrons, squadrons to van dreads. Humans exploited faster. Map delays, she said. Kill boxes here, fingers stabbed the plot. And here, overlap arcs on their van escorts. Chen's net updated. Red zones bloomed, predicted paths, auth lags marked. Task force ships slotted in, rails primed. Alvarez chimed. False withdrawal, ma'am, I'll drag their hounds. Affirm, Vance replied. Make it routine. Destroyers peeled back, task force edged sternward, engines throttling. Coalition escorts pounced, 6 light cruisers, fangs out. They chased into the boxes. Keth's voice boomed. Pursue, break their spine, Threxel warned. Admiral, their pull optimizes, traps a line. Too late, escorts crossed kill lines, Vance's thumb hovered. Synchronized strike, fire, rails roared as one, slugs converged, overlapping fields. First cruiser holed amidships, bridge gone. Second lost drives, spinning wild. Third crumpled under crossfire, hull splitting. Coalition squadrons retasked. Auth pings raced up chains, delays stacked. Chen called solutions. Next box hot, their flanks. Vance retagged. Task force pivoted smooth. Alvarez's destroyer looped back aggressive, routine to him, suicide to watchers. Escorts milled, awaiting flag go. Shatter them, Vance said. Fire again, 3 squadrons, 18 ships entered arcs. Rails sang precise, prows buckled, drives failed. Secondaries cooked off in chains. Wrecks tumbled, blocking lanes. Keth's dreadnought lumbered forward, lasers raked empty space. Reform authorization, Threxel broke in. Chains fracture, Admiral, humans predict. Vance's plot cleared lanes. Task force pristine, no hulls breached, power steady. Grand Fleet reserves hesitated, vectors scattering. Press the van, she ordered. Battlecruiser led turnover. Engines burned hot. Alvarez whooped low. They're folding, ma'am, escorts blind. Chen fed fresh tables. Doctrine shift, Keth demands mass charge. Delays confirm, 20 seconds to propagate. Vance smiled thin. Humans didn't need secrets. Enemy habits sufficed. Grand Fleet charged piecemeal. Dreadnoughts first, then staggered squadrons. Task force danced between ECM veils up, rails picking singles. One dreadnought closed tight. Its lances grazed the battlecruiser's shields. Vance felt the deck shudder. Counter, she said. Chen's guns answered. Slugs pierced armor, reactors spiked, then failed. The beast rolled dead. Keth's flag pushed through smoke. Transponders blared prestige codes. Escorts screamed frantic. Box it, Vance tagged. Kill zones overlapped the dreadnought's path. Alvarez baited again. Destroyer feinted close, drew fire. Escorts lunged straight into arcs. Strike, Vance commanded. Rails unified, Keth's screens shredded. Slugs hammered the flag, drives hold, command deck dark. It listed, secondaries blooming. Coalition fractured wide, ships warped solo, no cohesion. Reserves milled at edge, Auth chains choked. Threxel's relay broadcast surrender pings. Yield, your precision ends us. Vance scanned the void. Task force held all alive, ammo 3/4. Grand Fleet ghosts fled, but deep scans pinged again. Coalition core worlds, reinforcements massing. War doctrines anvil next. Secure the corvette, she said. Chen, full doctrine dump. Data flowed richer. Habit maps complete, every lag, every protocol, Alvarez reported. Fleet tight, ma'am, ready for anvil. Vance locked the plot. Humans answered contempt with steel. One cut deeper. Engines flared, task force accelerated, silence honed lethal. Keth's last transmission crackled faint. How we struck first, Vance let it die. Precision answered, warp signatures chased, dozens more. Coalition rallied desperate. Rehearse boxes, she ordered. They have it again. Chen plotted fresh. Alvarez spun drills. Marines hauled corvette data secure. Grand Fleet remnants scattered, but anvil loomed, thousands inbound. Vance's eyes narrowed. Task force turned bow on. Restraint backed force. Enemies learned respect. Threxel's voice echoed final. They optimize, we break. Holotank locked, rails primed. Humans met the storm, deeper space boiled. Anvil's signatures swelled, full coalition might. Vance breath steady. All hands battle stations. Decks hummed. Guns hot, one more escalation. Task force plunged in. Coalition anvil formed wall, dreadnought phalanxes, carrier wings launching. Missiles clouded sensors. Vance pierced the noise. Chen habit filter, tables overlaid. Predictable spreads, Auth delays marked. Boxes live, Chen confirmed. Alvarez's destroyer led pull, escorts bit into traps, strike, squadrons vaporized, carriers lost birds mid-launch. Keth's successor barked orders, chains lagged, Vance exploited. Task force sliced gaps, rails carving lanes. One carrier loomed, fighters swarmed. Alvarez rolled through, point defense cleared paths. My dance, Vance tagged it. Cripple board if viable. Shuttles darted. Marines claimed fighters intact, tech for later. Anvil buckled center. Wings scattered, coalition flags pleated. Mercy, doctrine yields. Vance ignored, task force pressed. Rex piled, final dreadnought charged lone, rails met it, hull cracked, void cleared, anvil ghosts warped. Task force emerged whole, convoy secure, coalition broken. Vance scanned final plots, habits mapped total, wars ended precise. Turn for core, she said. They struck first, we finish. Engines burned, steel silence won. Commodore Mara Vance tapped the deploy icon. Cold mines ejected from her flagship's ventral tubes, scattering like dust into the narrow stellar corridor ahead. Silent, undetectable, perfect. Task force mimics civilian transponders, she said over the command net. Freighter codes, cargo hauler IDs, run cold, no emissions. Affirmatives rolled in. Her 5 destroyers and 3 frigates shifted signatures. The resolute Asterisk S holotank flickered as transponders synced. Now they read as a ragged merchant convoy fleeing in panic. Vance leaned forward. The corridor's asteroid lanes pinched tight here, prime for a kill box. Coalition forces misread human silence as fear. They struck first at the convoy's edge. Now her task force survived the ambush. Time to break their doctrine. Sensors pinged pursuit. Admiral Soren Keth's battle group closed fast. 20 cruisers, 10 carriers, dreadnought anchors. Threxel's voice cut through open channels, strategist speaker for the coalition. Fleeing vermin, your weakness invites the anvil. Form ranks for glory. Keth's fleet compressed into prestige formation, wedges tight, flags forward. Carriers belched fighters in parade volleys. Cruisers overlapped shields for the holovid feeds back home. Doctrinal perfection, predictable, Vance's lips thinned. Chen, status on wakes. Commander Ilya Chen's voice stayed level from fire control. Mines armed, proximity fuses sync to their velocity. Missile salvos preloaded, habit filter predicts their point defense boxes. Good, hold fire until compression hits 80%. Vance watched the holotank. Enemy icons bunched. Keth chased the freighters straight into the trap. No scans for anomalies, arrogance. Threxel broadcast again. Humans posture silent, no resolve, we crush without mercy. Keth's dreadnought led the charge, engines flaring, fighters screened ahead. The formation funneled into the corridor, shields kissing for maximal prestige overlap. Vance nodded. Now, Chen, wake the mines. Chen triggered. Mine wakes bloomed, silent until proximity. First cluster detonated amid the fighter screen. Plasma blooms shredded squadrons. Wreckage peppered forward cruisers. Keth's channel erupted. What sorcery? Evasive, Chen layered missiles. 200 birds launched from task force tubes, timed to mine bursts. Enemy point defense split. Half-chased decoy flares from the wakes, half-tracked real salvos. Overloads sparked. A cruiser buckled hull venting atmosphere. Carriers recalled birds too late, mine shrapnel hold launch bays. Fighters exploded mid-reform. Vance tracked it all. Alvarez, your windows open, pivot through the gap. Captain Rook Alvarez's destroyer, Viper Asterisk, acknowledged. On it, Commodore, making it look routine. Viper rolled hard, thrusters firing in precise bursts. She threaded the mine gap, residual plasma parting like fog. Escorts followed, point defense lasing strays. Alvarez pushed aggressive. Destroyer bow kissed an asteroid for cover, then snapped out. Rails spat. Coalition line severed, rear wedges isolated from Keth's van. Cruiser fire raked Asterisk Viper Asterisk S flank. Shields held at 60%. Alvarez jinked. Shields green, cutting deep. Vance approved, risk-aware. Alive, coalition fractured. Rear elements wheeled to regroup, but Alvarez's flotilla carved lanes. Frigate lasers diced engines. One carrier listed, fighters spilling like blood. Keth roared over open comms. Flankers, prestige demands. Threxel cut in, voice cracking. Anomaly, humans feign weak, minds cold, transponders false, doctrine adapts. Too late. Vance keyed fleet-wide broadcast, open channel, calm tone. Admiral Keth, this is Commodore Vance, United Earth Task Force. Ceasefire now, power down weapons. Your formation's broken, no need for more losses. Silence stretched. Holotank showed Keth's dreadnought pivoting, guns hot. Cruisers rallied around him. Threxel urged restraint, inaudible whispers on side channels. Keth laughed, broadcast booming. Human trickery ends here. We struck first, you yield or shatter, advance. Vance's finger rested on the final trigger. Detonate reserve mine. Deep in the corridor heart, the last cold mine awoke. It sat amid Keth's compressed core, dreadnoughts overlapped, prestige tight, detonation rippled. Warp field disruptors chained. Shields collapsed in cascade. Dreadnought hulls cracked. Cruisers vented plasma. Keth's flagship shuddered. Bridge feeds caught his face. Prestige mask shattered. Impossible, emptiness kills, Resolute Asterisk S rails answered. Slugs punched through. Dreadnought split. Chaos spread. Rear wedges fled. Carriers dumped fighters to clog pursuit lanes. Alvarez's Asterisk Viper pressed the cut, torpedoes ripping isolated hulls. Chen called solutions. Targets split, their point defense chokes on our timing, Vance directed. Prioritize carriers, secure air superiority. Missiles arced true, one carrier exploded outright. Another lost bays, Alvarez's Marines prepped borders. Threxel's voice pierced the net frantic. Cease, humans optimize void, we misread silence, restraint hides fangs. Vance ignored, task force flowed precise, frigates screened flanks, destroyers harried brakes, no waste, systems level strikes. A coalition cruiser lunged at Resolute Asterisk, shields flared, Chen's guns tracked through noise. Solution locked, rails barked, cruiser yawed dead. Keth's Rex tumbled, survivors broadcast surrender. Yield, anvil breaks, Vance assessed, task force intact, shields regenerating, ammo green. Coalition doctrine cracked in one pass, they expected theatrics, got silence. Alvarez, reform on me, Chen, salvage drones out. Affirmative snapped, Threxel hailed private. Commodore, we erred humans, precise ceasefire terms. Vance eyed the holotank, corridor cleared, next escalation waited, coreward anvil massing. Transmit coordinates, stand down full, he complied, ships powered cold. Vance exhaled. Discipline answered contempt, precision forced respect, but sensors pinged deeper. Anvil reinforcements warped in, full might. Battle stations, she said. They struck first, we escalate. Decks hummed, guns primed, emptiness ahead boiled anew. Chen overlaid filters. Predictable patterns emerged, coalition auth delays, doctrinal spreads. Boxes live, she heard him confirm. Alvarez led the pull, Viper bit forward. Vance tagged the lead carrier. Cripple it. Shuttles darted, Marines claimed prizes, task force plunged. Coalition wall loomed, one more step, steel silence advanced. Keth's successor barked, chains lagged, gaps yawned, rails carved, fighters vaporized, anvil buckled, deeper void called, convoy secure waited coreward, Vance locked plots. Press on, engines burned. Restraints force mounted, Threxel's final echo. They optimize, we break, holotank steadied. Humans met the storm, asteroids whipped past Resolute Asterisk S hull. Vance adjusted course fractional, corridor narrowed ahead, mine remnants cooled. Coalition pickets probed edges, cautious now. Report anomalies, she ordered, sensors clean. Task force ghosted merchant again, deception held, rearguard Rex drew scavengers, Keth's prestige pyre, Chen tuned feeds. Their doctrine shifts, looser formations, learning. Vance nodded. Good, force adaptation, Alvarez flank screen. Viper peeled wide, pinging civi codes, risk-aware weave through rocks. A coalition scout frigate nosed close, scanned Viper asterisk. Transponder passed, Alvarez's voice dry. Tourists, she rolled away casual. Scout bought it, peeled back. Vance smiled faint. Normal looked extraordinary to them, deeper signals swelled. Anvil core mobilized, full dreadnought phalanxes, campaign escalated, silence answered, task force tightened. Minds receded ahead, cold ghosts. Keth's shadow loomed no more, respect carved in Rex, but Threxel planned anew. Vance anticipated, precision waited. Resolute match spin and grapple, Vance snapped. Captain Alvarez's destroyer Viper surged forward, micro-thrusters fired in precise bursts. The hulking carrier loomed, Keth's flagship, Anvil's fist asterisk, drifting dark after Resolute's railguns gutted its engines. No response pings, no scuttle beacon yet, but sensors caught the faint buildup, self-destruct sequence arming. Coalition doctrine demanded it, deny prizes to cowardly humans. Vance gripped her command chair. Holotank glowed with threat overlays. The carrier tumbled slow through asteroid shadows, coreward convoy just jumps away. Task force hung back, screens tight. One wrong twitch and pickets swarmed. Time to dock. 40 seconds, Alvarez replied, voice steady over comms. Viper danced between debris. Her hull kissed the carrier's bay at zero relative velocity. Grapples whipped out, magnetic claws bit deep into fractured armor. The spin halted cold. Viper pinned it like a hunter's trophy. Locked, Alvarez confirmed. Marines away. Vance stood, Chen with me, boarding tube now. She strode for the hatch, mag boots clanging. Chen fell in step, tablet slung under arm, eyes on scrolling code. No fear in her gait, just focus. Marines in full kit double-timed behind, rifles hot. Airlock cycled, harsh carrier lights stabbed their visors, no welcome fire, yet. Internal corridors stretched dim, emergency reds pulsing. Vance keyed her suit mic. Chen, turrets. Affirm. Chen jacked her tablet into a bulkhead port. Fingers flew. Coalition IFF protocols, rigid, predictable. She spoofed Resolute's signature, laced with noise from the carrier's own damaged arrays. Turret's word. Then stilled, green on her readout. Route clear to bridge, Chen said. Turret slave to us. Marines fanned out. Vance led point, pistol drawn. Bulkheads groaned under spin arrest. Alien script flickered on walls. Strategist speaker Threxel's sigils etched in victory boasts. Now silent. A crewman stirred in the gloom, chitin-armored Kragari clutching a gut wound. He hissed defiance. One Marine tranked him mid-lunge. Scuttle cores broadcasting, Chen warned. Looping Keth's last orders, we stop it here. Vance nodded sharp. Bridge hatch ahead sealed, but Chen's hack peeled it open like foil. Alarms wailed inside. Dead consoles smoked. Bodies slumped at stations. Keth's bridge crew rail slugs through vitals. No survivors. Admiral Soren Keth floated central, prestige cloak torn, eyes glassy. His command throne anchored him. Holotank beside him looped a final transmission. Exterminate the humans, no quarter. Their silence mocks our glory. Vance's jaw tightened. Record it all. Chen seized the comm core. Chen yanked the core module free, fist-sized crystal pulsing data. Marines swept the chamber, no traps triggered. Vance patched her suit cam direct to Resolute's arrays. Task Force, stand by transmit. Alvarez, hold grapples firm. Outside, Asterisk Viper strained. Coalition scouts pinged distant, frigate signatures closing fast. Alvarez's voice cut in. Pickets inbound, 5 minutes, dock secure, but they're probing. Understood. Vance floated to Keth's throne. She accessed the Admiral's secure log, voice only, no visuals. Keth's gravel tone filled her helmet. Threxel was right. Humans posture not, they optimize. Standing order, genocide protocols. Burn their worlds if we fall. Glory demands? Static, cut it. Enough. Vance bundled the files. Scuttle loop, Keth's exterminatus directive, Threxel's doctrinal memos endorsing first strike. Evidence raw, unedited. She fired at Corward, straight to Coalition Senate relays, civilian bans, neutral traitors. No spin, just facts. Transmit complete, Resolute's comms officer reported. Senate acknowledging, fractures already, Vorlath delegation pulling support. Vance exhaled, political knife in the war's gut. Mid-campaign with Anvil Corps mobilizing, Threxel's loose formations would crumble faster now. Chen sealed the core. Data's ours, Scuttle scrubbed. Marines reported clear, but sensors spiked carriers, auxiliary bays, venting fighters, auto-launches, doctrine hardwired, drones swarmed Asterisk Viper Asterisk S hull. Alvarez, Vance barked. On it. Viper Asterisk S point defense spat lasers. Drones popped like fireworks, grapples held. One Marine took a grazing hit, armor held. Extract, Vance ordered, teams double-backed. Chen covered rear, turrets swiveling to shred a drone straggler. Back aboard Asterisk Viper Asterisk, hatches sealed. Alvarez punched retros. Grapples retracted clean. Carrier tumbled free again, harmless Hulk now Scuttle dead, secrets spilled. Task Force reformed. Dreadnought phalanxes ahead swelled on plots, but chatter erupted over open channels, Coalition Senate feeds. Vorlath Admiral raging at Keth's orders. Threxel's voice pierced static. This, fabrication, humans twist truth. Senate override barked back. Logs verify, cease hostiles, inquiry summons all flags. Vance watched the holotank. Phalanxes hesitated, formations bunching, not advancing. Political fracture hit like a missile. Rearguard Rex drew more scavengers. Convoy secure pulsed inviting. Status, she asked Chen, settling into Asterisk Viper Asterisk S guest chair. Chen synced her tablet. Their doctrines in chaos, looser still but infighting signatures. Senate's pulling strings. Alvarez glanced back from helm. Flank screen holding, scouts bought our ghost merchant longer. Vance tagged the Anvil Corps. Press, mines recede forward. Engines thrummed. Asteroids blurred past. Silence answered the storm, not anger but precision. Coalition learned restraints bite. Deeper void beckoned. Threxel's echo faded. They optimize, we break. But Senate fractures widened. One carrier's dark gift turned the tide, resolute led plunge, rails primed, fighters on standby, task force ghosted flawless. Pickets probed tentative now. One frigate hailed, Vorlath accent shaky. Human command, Senate truce vector open. Vance keyed, response cool. Transmit coordinates after compliance scan. They complied, gaps yawned wider, Chen tuned feeds. Adapting fast. But Keth's ghost haunts them. Vance smiled faint, normalcy extraordinary, respect carved deeper. Convoy loomed, campaign escalated, yet bent to human will. Anvil buckled further, steel silence advanced. But Threxel plotted, sensors caught a shadow fleet rallying his contingency. Vance adjusted plots, precision waited. Viper peeled wide again, pinging civi codes, risk-aware weave. A fresh scout-nosed close, scanned, passed, Alvarez rolled casual. Tourists persist. Deeper signals surged, dreadnoughts shifted, Senate loyalists peeling off. Fracture deepened, Vance locked eyes on holotank. Chen target gaps, Alvarez thread the needle. Aye, Viper surged, rails carved lead elements, fighters vaporized in sync. Coalition wall cracked, humans walked through anyway, coreward called, victory's edge sharpened. Restraint's force mounted unyielding. Threxel's final ploy brewed. Vance anticipated, one more step. Rails thrummed, Viper knifed through the debris field. Coalition wrecks tumbled in the void, their formation shattered. Chen's voice cut sharp over the bridge net. Lead elements routing, ma'am, pursuit plots green across the board. Vance's fingers danced on the holotank controls. Red icons fled coreward, blue grids held firm, she keyed the fleet channel. All ships negative on pursuit, resolute actual, deploy layered patrol grids now. Anchor on Viper and Hammerfall, Chen spool sensor buoys, Alvarez weave picket screens 2 clicks out. Chen nodded from her station, feeds flickering. Buoys launching, noise filters tuning for stealth signatures. Alvarez's destroyer Viper banked smooth, engines flaring brief. Pickets spinning up, Commodore, will thread any needle they poke. The task force shifted seamless. Destroyers fanned into interlocking webs. Sensor buoys bloomed silent, painting the lane in invisible layers. Vance watched the holotank solidify. Gaps closed. No chase, just control. Keth's remnants scattered. No counterfire probed the grids. Silence stretched. Sensors pinged neutral codes. A shuttle detached from a drifting Vorlath cruiser, flags pulsing truce yellow. Threxel's glyph flashed on ident. Flag of truce inbound, Chen confirmed. Single shuttle, no weapons hot. Vance straightened. Clear them to 500 meters. Secure Bay 2, Alvarez hold Viper on overwatch. Shuttle docked clean, airlock cycled. Threxel strode onto Resolute's bridge, mandibles clicking restraint. His strategist robes hung crisp, but eyes darted to the holotank grids. 4 guards trailed, claws sheathed. Commodore Vance. Threxel's voice grated through the translator, Vorlath accent thick. The coalition extends formal parley. Admiral Keth's forces fracture. Senate calls for resolution. Vance met his gaze steady, no salute. State your terms, strategist speaker. Threxel puffed his chest frills. Honor demands redress. Keth's loyalists stain our doctrine. A duel of flagships restores balance. Resolute versus Keth's asterisk, dread sovereign asterisk. Coreward lane witnessed. Victor claims the void. Chen's eyebrow twitched. Alvarez patched in from Viper asterisk, voice low. He's serious. Vance ignored the side channel. She tapped the holotank. Grids pulsed live. No duels. Humans don't fight for theatrics. Terms, full prisoner exchange within the cycle. Demilitarize the hyperlane corridor to the neutral arc. Coalition withdraws pickets. Scans verify compliance. Threxel's frills flattened. You refuse honorable combat. Keth's prestige lost wars. Vance zoomed the tank to prisoner markers. Dots blinked, human POWs in Keth's holds. Your admiral struck first, misread our silence, now comply or grids tighten. Threxel's claws flexed. He scanned the bridge crew, calm, stations humming. No posturing. You fortify like cowards, Senate may accept, Keth's ghosts will not. Transmit acceptance or depart. Vance nodded to security. Threxel spun, robes swirling. Shuttle undocked minutes later, vanishing into the black. Chen exhaled. Think he'll bite. Vance reset the tank. He'll relay, watch for tricks. Alarms wailed. Sensors screamed inbound. Keth loyalists boiled from asteroid shadows, 6 frigates, rails hot, missiles sloughing off stealth paint. Launch platforms trailed, fat with fighter bays. Direct vector on the prisoner convoy grids. Last-ditch strike, Alvarez barked. Viper rolling to intercept, guns hot. Vance gripped the tank edge. Fleet defensive. Chen automated intercepts priority 1. No platforms yet. Chen's hands blurred over consoles. Intercepts spooling. Sensor noise inverted, turning their stealth against them. Rails sinking fleet-wide. Coalition frigates surged. Missiles bloomed, 200 strong, seekers locking grids. Human point defense woke. Viper danced through the salvo, lasers carving leads. Hammerfall's battery spat tungsten storms. Chen's voice stayed ice. Noise feeds live, targeting solutions on all birds, fire. Intercepts lanced out. Human missiles met alien swarms head-on, programmed blooms shredding clusters. Frigate rails answered, beams grazed Resolute's shields, sparks flaring. Alvarez weaved asterisk Viper aggressive, close enough to taste their exhaust. One frigate crumpled, gutted by synchronized fire. 40% neutralized, Chen tallied, adjusting for ECM drift. Keth's lead frigate broadcast fury. Humans face us in glory, Vance keyed reply fleet-wide. Glory's overrated, surrender or burn. Chen nailed the alpha strike, remaining missiles vaporized in precision nets. Frigates pressed, but grids choked them. Viper rolled inverted, raking a pair. Explosions lit the void silent. Last frigate yawed, engines cold. It drifted, hulked. Platforms loomed now, bloated shadows dumping fighters. Chen's plots locked. Fighters inbound, platforms exposed. Vance assessed. Cities orbited beyond, civilian markers steady. No need for escalation. Limited counterstroke, destroy launch platforms only. Chen surgical strikes, Alvarez cover the angles. Aye, ma'am, Chen fed targeting pips. Rails calibrated, minimal spread. Resolute's main batteries roared. Slugs punched clean through platform hulls. Viper and escorts followed, lasers slicing bays. Fighters scattered, leaderless. Platforms cracked open, venting atmosphere and wrecks. No spillover fire touched the cities. Keth's voice crackled open channel, ragged. Monsters! You deny us finale? Vance muted him. Cease fire on compliance. Chen scanned for surrenders. 3 platforms struck colors. Fighters powered down. The rest followed, one by one. Threxel's shuttle reappeared, edging from cover. His glyph broadcast, compliance relayed, prisoners vectoring. Vance watched the holotank shift. Grids held, lane secured. Convoy icons advanced unmolested. Alvarez patched in casual. Tourists again. Platforms down, cities intact. They expected fireworks. Chen tuned final feeds. Keth's ghost fades, Senate fractures seal. Vance allowed a nod, normalcy won, restraints bite sank deep, but coreward signals stirred. Threxel's shadow fleet rallied faint, one more contingency. Vance adjusted plots, precision waited, deeper void beckoned, rails primed, one final step. Sensors caught it first, a ripple in the grid margins. Threxel's voice hailed urgent. Commodore, Keth's diehards mass beyond the arc. Senate truce holds only if you... Vance cut in. Transmit their vector, we end this clean. He hesitated, then data flowed. Icons bloomed, 12 heavies, dreadnought core. Chen's eyes narrowed. Trap, Vance smiled faint. Opportunity, Viper peeled wide, patrols tightened. Task force ghosted forward. Aliens wanted epic clash. Humans chose silence and the kill. Rails hummed ready. Fighters stood by. The anvil buckled one last time. Steel advanced. Victory's edge cut true. Threxel's final ploy cracked open. But whose hand held the knife? Convoy cleared the lane. Prisoners inbound, yet dreadnought signatures hardened. Keth's loyalists charged, prestige blind. Alvarez flank left, Chen drowned their sensors. Vance's orders snapped. Viper surged. Grids fed ghost data, buoys spoofing decoys. Coalition heavies fired blind into phantoms. Human rails answered real. Lead dreadnought shattered. Keth's flagship bucked, shields flaring. His roar echoed channels. For honor! Chen's intercepts webbed the void. Missiles died unborn. Alvarez threaded Viper through the maelstrom, guns kissing hulls. Vance watched Keth's icon wink red. No cities touched, no theatrics spilled. Surrenders flooded in. Threxel's shuttle hovered witness, his mandibles sagged. You! Optimize endings. Fleet held position. Lane demilitarized, war bent. Ended, coreward opened wide. Respect carved eternal. Silence spoke loudest. But one shadow lingered. Senate's deeper fracture or human horizon. Resolute plunged on, precision eternal. Vance's console lit with the tribunal feed. She dragged the captured orders. Keth signed strike authorization straight into the shared channel. Coalition leaders' holograms flickered across her bridge. Threxel's mandibles froze mid-click. Soren Keth's image glared from archive footage, his prestige crest flared high. "Watch," Vance said, her voice cut clean through translators. No rage, just fact. The file played. Keth's voice boomed, orders for preemptive plasma lances on human colonies. Silent human warnings ignored, misread as fear. Admiral Keth's hologram kin recoiled. Fabrication. Time-stamped, quantum-locked. Vance tapped the verification glyph. It bloomed green for all. "Your doctrine demanded first blood. We answered with proof." Threxel's frills wilted. He leaned into his feed. "Commodore, this fractures our pact." "Fractures were yours." Vance's fingers danced over controls. Task Force rails stayed cold. "Sign the corridor treaty, human oversight on inspections, or we broadcast wider." Silence stretched. Coalition feeds murmured. Threxel's claw hovered over the seal. It pressed. "Treaty locked," Vance nodded once. "Compliance noted, lanes open." But her sensors pinged. One shadow detached from the debris field. Keth's hidden corvette Loyalist Suicide burned, straight for the resolute *S flank, plasma vents glowing hot. "Alvarez," Vance snapped. "Intercept vector, now." Captain Rook Alvarez's *Viper acknowledged in a blur. His destroyer twisted hard, engines flaring blue. No hesitation. Risk calculus ran in his mind. Vance knew it from Sims. He threaded the maelstrom, point defense spitting fire to clear the path. Keth's corvette accelerated. A final roar crackled open channel. "For honor, humans break." Alvarez's voice stayed level. "Negative, Admiral, we hold." Viper rolled into the burn path. Shields buckled under the corvette's ramming prow. Hulls kissed in a shower of sparks. Alvarez fired Retro's sacrificial shove. Keth's ship spun wild, trajectory shattered. Viper limped clear, venting atmo but intact. Vance's heart ticked steady. "Good block, Captain. Chen shared solution. Fire on my mark." Commander Ilya Chen's gunnery net hummed. Her station overflowed with noise. ECM ghosts, debris clutter, coalition patrols scattering. She filtered it in seconds. Sensor ghosts collapsed into truth. One firing solution bloomed across the task force. Rails synced perfect. "Locked," Chen said. Her eyes flicked to Vance. No smile, just precision. Keth's corvette stabilized. Weapons hot, charging for a parting shot. "Mark!" Vance's word dropped like a hammer. 12 rails spoke as one. Slugs crossed the void in unison. Humanity's warning stayed silent until the warships spoke perfect. Keth's ship vanished. No debris, just ionized mist. Coalition channels went dead quiet. Threxel's shuttle edged closer, scanners wide. His voice broke through. "Strategist speaker Threxel to Vance, cease, we yield full." Vance checked grids, all clear. She keyed fleet-wide. "Power down weapons, restore silent channel." Rails went cold. Task force hung in formation. No pursuit, no gloating. Alvarez's Viper reported in. "Hull breaches sealed, crew nominal." Chen leaned back. "Firing solution archived, ready for next." Vance eyed the tribunal feed. Coalition leaders stared, crests low. Threxel's mandibles worked slow. "You, leave us alive? To remember." Vance closed the channel. "Discipline over destruction." Threxel's shuttle docked proper, airlock cycled. He stepped onto resolute *S deck, flanked by Marines. No weapons, his eyes compound, unblinking, locked on Vance. "Commodore." He extended a datapad. Treaty addendum glowed, full inspections, human leads. "Oversight accepted, your way." Vance scanned it, flawless. "Signed." His frills twitched. Keth believed silence weakness. "Posture demands noise. Humans optimize outcomes." She gestured to the viewports. Demilitarized lanes stretched coreward, convoys already forming. "Restraint backed by force, respect follows." Threxel's claw tapped the pad. "Coalition doctrine adapts." "Your precision carves it." Alvarez limped aboard next, arm in a field sling. Chen trailed, tablet in hand. They formed up silent, no cheers, just duty. Vance turned to the bridge crew. "Prep for coreward transit, silent running." Engines thrummed low. Task force ghosted forward. Threxel watched from observation. His whisper carried, "Never anger humans." But Vance's console pinged private. Senate relay, deeper fractures inbound. Coalition hardliners stirred. One shadow down, more lingered. She smiled faint. Rails hummed ready. Resolute plunged on. Threxel's shuttle undocked clean. Vance watched it vector away, treaty seals glowing on her main hollows. Task force held station keeping. Patrols fanned out, buoys deploying fresh sensor nets. Chen slid into her station. Post-battle calcs complete. Efficiency 98%. Keth's ambush cost them 4 heavies to our 0. Log it. Vance kept eyes on the lane. Convoys trickled through civilian haulers, no escorts needed now. Alvarez patched in from Viper *. Repairs at 80%. That suicide burn singed us good. Stand by for rotation. Vance plotted relief patterns. No risks taken. Tribunal echoes lingered in fleet chatter. Coalition leaders broadcasted the captured orders galaxy-wide. Their own shame self-inflicted. Threxel's voice returned, rooted secure. Commodore, one query. Speak. Your silence pre-strike, warning unheeded, why not posture? Vance paused, sensors clear. Posture provokes, silence disarms, we strike when needed. Mandibles clicked approval. Lesson etched. Inspections commenced cycle 1. Link cut, fleet shifted. Resolute led the wedge coreward. Dreadnought shadows faded astern. Keth's loyalists scattered or surrendered. Chen glanced up. Next contact. Senate brief. Vance cued it. Fractures deeper, coalition splinter fleets probing borders. Alvarez chimed. Flank ready, Viper * Ghosts Point. Good copy, stars wheeled, precision eternal. But one ping hardened, fringe signature, rogue corvette, Keth marked, hidden in the buoy field. Vance's hand hovered weapons. Chen's solution. Sinking. Rails warmed quiet. Keth's last ghost burned hot. Vance tracked it from Resolute *S tack plot. Fringe patrol mistook it for debris, not her crew. Alvarez, vector block. Her order snapped crisp. Viper surged again. Alvarez's voice steady. On it, no sacrifice this time. Corvette peeled from cover. Suicide vector locked, ramming a convoy hauler. Chen's net lit. Noise filtered, shared fire. Task force icons aligned. Rails primed. Vance watched the dance. Viper * cut angle, point defense chewing incoming drones. Corvette bucked, prestige flares dying. Fire! Slugs unified, ghost erased. Convoy sailed untouched. Threxel's relay buzzed. Witnessed, oversight expands. Vance powered down, silent channel restored. Understood. Fleet pressed on, enemies alive to spread the tale. Coreward beckoned. Humans humble, deadly, Senate fractures loomed. But Vance's task force answered contempt with precision. Respect carved deep. War doctrine broken. One campaign, decisive, resolute cut true. Victory's edge eternal.